Good morning. How are you? If you would go ahead and share so that other people can participate in our conversation on this morning as we get prepared to get ready to move towards our goals, our dreams, our desires, where you and I can decide, you know what, I am not giving up now. I'm too close. How many people that's you on today? You've determined, you've made up your mind, I'm too close and I'm ready to go after everything I need to go after. And as a result of that, I'm positioning myself for greatness. In fact, I'm already getting started this morning. I want you to start positioning yourself for greatness right now. I want you to start positioning yourself for greatness before 2021. And you and I, we've got to decide that I've got to get in the right position so that I can achieve the goals and dreams that I'm setting forth to set out for the time that is ahead of me. Now, notice I'm not saying for the next year. I'm saying for the time that is ahead of me, because at the end of the day, you got to pick up from where you are. And you got to move on. In fact, there's some companies, there's some organizations, they don't even operate on the same calendar that we operate on. They have what they call a fiscal year. So their year for their budget may end in October. In fact, most end in October as they ramp up to get ready to move into the next calendar year. And so you and I have to decide, you know what, even though I may be going into another calendar year, my fiscal year starts now. I have to begin the preparation right now so that when I get to this point, this time next year, I'm in a better place doing what I need to do and going after what I need to go after. In other words, what we're talking about on today is this topic right here, and that is the time is now. It's not time to wait. It's time is now for you and I to begin to press forward and go after everything we need to go after. I want you to know that we are in now time. So somebody say, well, what time is it? It is now time. And how many people know that now time is deeply, deeply important to us, and we got to continue to move forward? It's now time. In fact, somebody put that in the comment section. It's now time. It's go time. It's time for us to go after it so that we can accomplish everything that we need to accomplish in life, because at the end of the day, my brothers, my sisters, it's that we have the time we have is right now. It's now time. It's go time. It's time for us to position ourselves for the greatness. And so I want you, if you have a notebook or something like that, if you have a mirror of something like that you look in the morning, put this on your mirror. It's now time. And so when you wake up in the morning, somebody say, what time you getting up? I'm getting up at now time, because now is the time for me to go after what I need to go after and do what I need to do. One of the things that we take for granted is time, right? And so time it's now time for you and I. We have to make up in our minds that, you know what, right now is the time for me to position myself for greatness and to go after everything I need to go after to accomplish what I need to accomplish. And it's now time for me. And so what happens a lot of times, we look at the chronological clock and say, oh, it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. The fact is, the time that you and I have, you and I must use it for us to accomplish what we need to accomplish. And so today I'm hoping to be able to challenge your perspective about time. I want to challenge your perspective about how you are utilizing your time and how you view time. That I want to challenge you on that today, because at the end of the day, we've got to be able to do that. That's right. It's now o'clock. I like that, Kendra. It is now o'clock for you and I want to be able to help shape your perspective about time on this morning. Because it is now time, you and I must understand that if you look at the word time, at the end of the word time is two letters, M-E. It's two letters at the end of the word time. When I saw this right here, I was like, what? I'm in time? Now me. That's right. Now time. You are in time. time. And so time does not exist for us without us. It's got to include us in the midst of that time. So when I'm talking about time, I have to understand I'm talking about me, because I am in time. And as a result of that, you and I must understand that that M-E in time is talking about you and it's talking about me. And how we use that time is going to be absolutely vital and important for us to accomplish what we need to accomplish and go after. And so whenever you say the word time, I want you to see that M-E in it. I want you to be able to see that M-E in it, because me, that's it right there. I'm in time, right? And so M-E, I'm in time. And as a result of that, I have to use time in a way that's beneficial for me to achieve my goals, my dreams, and things that I'm hoping to accomplish in life. And at the end of the day, my brothers and sisters, that's where we are. We're in a position where we have to make sure we use our time, and I am in the time. And so what happens a lot of time is that we look at time as something that we give to other people. We look at time, but time is something totally different. And I'm hoping to shape your perspective on it. But I hope that you see that when you say the word time, it has M-E in it. It has you in it. It has me in it. And how we spend that time, it matters how we spend that time. So the first thing that we have to understand is that time is not something you spend. Time is something you live. Come on now. Oftentimes we talk about I've been spending time doing this and I'm spending time doing that. You have to understand that time is not something that I spend, but time is something that I live. And if you're living time, then you're going to handle time differently. You know, some people, they don't know how to spend their money, right? You'll go spend it on anything. And so when we use the word spend, it trivializes what we have, the preciousness of the time that we have. And you and I have to be willing to use this time in order to accomplish the lives that we want to live. How many people know that the way you live time, maybe sometime in your past, it didn't produce what you wanted it to produce? And some people say, no, I wasted time. No, you lived that time. And how you live time matters. And so we're going to stop saying I'm spending time. No, I'm living time with you. I'm living time at my job. I'm living time in my work. I'm living time. That's what you and I have to know. At the end of the day, we're not spending time, but we are living the time. We are living the time. We are living the time. And so if we're living the time, every day we are alive, we are greeted with now time. You woke up this morning with now time. That's all I want you to know. This morning, when you woke up with the opportunity to live, and it is now time for you and I to not make excuses anymore. It's now time to not settle for less anymore. It's now time to not give ourselves the short end of the stick. It's now time to not decide that, you know what, I'm going to wait for another day. No. I'm going to get this thing started right now. I'm going to put this work in now. Why? Because at the end of the day, my now time is getting me prepared for my next time. Oh, come on, somebody. My now time is getting me prepared for my next time. And so if my now time is getting me prepared for my next time, then I have to be willing to put in the work so that I can achieve the outcomes that I want to achieve. And so you no longer have to say that. That's right. I'm living my time. I'm now going to live it. I'm not spending my time. I am going to live my time. And when you live it, you are handling it differently. It's more precious to you because you recognize you really are going to ask yourself, how am I going to live my time today? When you put your calendar together, all you're saying is, how am I going to live my time today? I like that right there. It's time to live. It's time to live it. That's right. It is absolutely time to live it. And so you and I have to be willing to position ourselves to get to that place where we understand that it's now time. When we wake up, it's now time. All right. So it's time to go. I want to wake that thing up in you so you can go after what you need to go after. Now time is the good times and the bad times. I want y'all to know that, right? It's the good seasons and the tough seasons. It's the high seasons and the low seasons. These things happen to describe the times that we may find ourselves in. But regardless of it being bad or good, in terms of beneficial for what you're trying to accomplish, you still have to live the time and live the time in such a way that you're able to accomplish your dreams. All right. The question I have for you to reflect on as we get prepared, as we're saying this is our fiscal year, right? The question that you and I have right now is, how are you living your now time? How are you living your now time? Not how are you spending it, but how are you living your now time? And are you living your now time in such a way that you're able to accomplish your goals and your dreams? Or are you still making excuses with your now time? Because right now is what we have. And I don't want to see you in a position where you make an excuse with the time that you have, and use the resources that you have so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. Take advantage of right now. I want you to see now as an opportunity, not as a challenge. I want you to see now as the place where you carve out the things which you need to carve out. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is what we have right now, now time. I want you to reflect on that. How am I using my time now, my now time? How am I living time? How am I living time right now? And the time that I have, am I making the most of it? Because it's absolutely precious. It's absolutely precious. Here's a quote. Your time, from Steve Jobs. He says, your time is limited. Don't live your time. So your time is limited. So don't live your time in living in someone else's life. Okay, your time is limited. Don't live your time it living somebody else's life. Okay, let me say this again. Your time is limited. Don't live your time living someone else's life. I got an extra "it" in this sentence. It shouldn't be there. But your time is limited. Don't live your time living someone else's life. In other words, you and I can't live out of somebody else's expectation. We have to spend our time pursuing the dreams and goals that we have. Whatever you give time to, whatever you give time, whatever you give your now time to, that time will give back to you multiplied. Let me say that again. Whatever you give time to, that time will give back to you multiplied. All right. So when we look at how we spent time in our past and things that we gave time to, and Lord have mercy, how many people we've given time to that we shouldn't have given time to, but at the end of the day, it multiplied over the years. And so you started out let's for example, you started out as a toddler, right? And when you were a toddler, you was stumbling around, you was trying to figure out how to walk, how to get your balance. But as time went on, you were able to walk without even thinking about it. You was able to get the balance and get better. Why? And then start running in some cases. Where at the end of the day, the reason why that is the case is because you was building on those experiences, and the time that you was spending was multiplying. It was growing you. It was growing you into something. And how you spent your time before, in the past, grows you. It's growing you into where you are right today. And so you and I have to be willing to do that. I absolutely agree. Our time is limited, and sometimes at the end of the day, you and I have to understand that we got to push forward and go after everything that we need to go after. That's right. So that we can see that we can accomplish everything we need to accomplish. So at the end of the day, what you give time to is going to give something back to you. The question is, are you using your now time so that in the future, it'll give back to you what you envision it giving back to you? So when someone starts a business, or when Chick-fil-A began, it began as one store, then it grew to another store, then it grew to a franchise. But because the owner gave time to the first one, he was able to build multitudes of it. Now it's given back to him multiplied because he gave time to it. So you have to give time to those things that you want to see multiplied in your life. You give time to your relationships, you give time to your job, you give time to your resources, give time to how you're managing your money. Why? Because I want it to be multiplied in the future. And so what you give time to, it multiplies for you in the future. It's kind of like a person who is a farmer. They put seeds in the ground, these little seeds in the ground. They do that right at the right time. Then the soil is ripe and they prep the soil and they put the seed in the ground. And by doing so, the seed then multiplies. It gives them something back over time. How are you planting your seeds in this now season? What are you doing with the seeds you have? Where are you planting them? Because if you plant them in the right place, it's going to give back to you multiply. And so you and I are living our now time in a way that we're planting seed so that time can give us back what we planted multiplied. Oh man, that made me feel good right there, because this is a season for planting in the right place. This is a season for you to start planting your time and your energy in the right places. It's time for you to start living your time in the right places and planting in the right place. Why? So it can be multiplied and given back to you in a way that is able to help push you towards your dreams, your skills, and your abilities. So you want to be able to do that in this season we're in. Now times allows you to accumulate resources and to make impact. What you're doing now, it allows you to accumulate all of those experiences over time, and those experiences become skill set. Or you spend your time in class, you get the certification, but all of that time gathered together gives you this end result. And at the end, also, that time gives you the opportunity to make impact, to make somebody else's life better, to make an impact in their lives in a way that really is a long-term impact in the lives of people. And so you and I have to be willing to position ourselves for that as we utilize our now time. I want to just give a couple of scriptures on this morning to really bring into focus that you and I have something precious called time, right? It's very, very precious. And James puts it this way. He says, now listen, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend your year there, carry on business, and make money. He says, for those of you who say this, for those of you who are saying, I'm going to do it on down the line. For those who say, I'm going to put it off until whatever time. And I'm not saying you don't need to plan, because you do. But planning helps you take full benefit of your now time. All right. And so we see here in James says, for those of you who say, I'm going to do it today or tomorrow, I'm going to put it off, that city, I'm going to go to that place that year, whatever. He says, for those of you who have that mindset, this is what he goes on to say in verse 14. He says, why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while, then it vanishes. We learn here in James that we are just a mist. We're like a vapor. And so how we use our time is absolutely important so that we can accomplish what we need to accomplish. We can't look at ourselves as if we have all of this time. We have to continue to work in a way that we can accomplish what we need to accomplish. In other words, now is the time. He said, don't put it off. You've been putting it off for years. You've been saying you're going to do it for years. Now is the time for you to get started and push forward and go after. Who am I talking to on this morning? Now is the time. This is time for you to take full advantage of your now time and go after everything that you know you're capable of going after. Then he goes on and says, instead, you ought to say, if the Lord's will, we will live and do this and that. In other words, he says the time we have is in God's hands. The time you and I have is in the hands of God. And God has given us this gift of time, regardless of how long or short you think it is, to be able to make an impact, a mark in the earth, to leave a legacy. It's in his hands. Time is in God's hands. Make the most of your now time. And by making the most of your now time, it's preparing you for your next time and preparing the next generation to be able to stand on your shoulders because you took full advantage of your now time to make an impact in the lives of others. And so that's what I want to say on today. Now is the time. Now. No more waiting. No more procrastinating. No more saying I'm going to put it off. Now it's the time. How much more are you going to wait to accomplish what you need to accomplish? It's now time. It's time for you to go after what you need to go after. And when you do that, you are positioning yourself to take full advantage of the now time. The time is now. I'm going to say it again. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Why not? Why not go get it? Why not go after it? Why not position yourself to accomplish everything you need to accomplish? Because we are like a vapor. But God has time in his hands. And for whatever reason, the Lord has allowed you to make it to where you are right now. And if he's allowed you to make it, regardless of what people say, regardless of how people talk about you, if he's allowed you to make it, then you are here in now time to make a now difference. If God allowed you to be here, then now is the time. He allowed you to be here in this now time to make a now difference. So I want you to put that on your mirror. Now is the time. And I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Let's continue to press forward and recognize we got this. Let's go after it. I pray God's continue to bless you as you continue to pursue everything that he's placed before you. I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Let some people know, hey, it's time to go for it. I'm going. And I'll say, well, why are you going for it? Because now is the time. It's now time. The time is now. Hey, God bless you. I hope that you all have been experiencing a phenomenal experience by participating in Kastawi. Again, my name is Jacatrin Potts, and I'm the owner of the Potts Group. I'm a consulting, motivational speaking, personal development company, and we're continuing to thrive in this pandemic. Kastawi. Hey, look forward to talking to you. God bless you. Love you much, and I will definitely be in contact with you soon. Feel free to contact me. I love to get your questions so that I'm able to answer them. And if you have any, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm built for it. This is what I do. Look forward to talking to you next time. Until the next time, peace and blessings, family. Continue to walk in power, understanding that now is the time. God bless you. Peace and blessings.